evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?
Welcome back to the Denver Broncos franchise on Madden 22. I'm your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. We got a win in week 1, which is awesome. We've got some stuff going on in between weeks here that we're going to jump through as far as this camp standout scenario with Bradley Chubb. I don't think he got the 2 tackles for loss or sacks or whatever. He got 1, if I remember correctly. But didn't get both, but not a big deal. He's still a really good player and is going to continue to be for quite some time. As we talked about in the previous episode with the roughing the passer penalties, we made an adjustment to the penalty slider there, a pretty significant one, so we should not see anywhere near as many of those as what we saw last week. So, again, apologies for that, but bottom line is it was the same rules for both teams. They just got caught more than we did. All right, so let's see here. We got 4,500 XP for our offensive line. That is awesome. And 10 staff points. And I think that was because we hit that goal of beating the Giants and getting those 150 yards on the ground. That is real nice. Now we've got 45 staff points to spend. And the beauty here is we're through 1 week going to have enough staff points to go to the player personnel here, come over here to this one, the hometown discount, and we can max out right here and get all of them. So it's good to get that done before we even start negotiations. Basically, anybody on our team who is an overall of less than 90, we're going to get a 5% discount when we try to re-sign them. So I don't believe that those stack. So it's not like the 80 and under now get 15%, and I think it's just 5% across the board. But that's awesome. Now, like we talked about, we need to start working our way down here. So it's basically 40 points to get to right here, and then 20 points each to add additional focus players in the weekly strategy, where we'll have 6 youngsters getting a little bit extra XP each week to help them grow instead of just 3. So that's our next objective on the staff talent tree. And so let's go ahead and advance through the week. I will say last week I was kind of surprised at how little pressure we were able to get on Daniel Jones. However, I did not blitz a ton in that game, and that can make a difference. The other thing is we didn't do a lot of 4-man rushes with a lot of guys back in coverage. We did some in the nickel, especially late in the game, but they were actually just kind of shredding us at that point. So that was a little bit disheartening. We've got to find ways to get some sacks, and our defensive line was not able to really get it done that week. We did shut down the run, and that was awesome. But we've got to be better at getting pressure on the quarterback. So we now have to set our regional scouting focuses. So Jeremy Lewis, our scout in the West, is best at scouting corners, but that's not really a strength of the territory. There's defensive tackle, right outside linebacker, and quarterback. With Herbie Hancock there projected to go number 6 overall. We're probably not going to get him. That defensive tackle projected to go 21st is somebody that I've kind of got my eyes on. So let's go. Although, yeah, see, the middle linebacker is projected to go 3rd. I think defensive tackle is the position that makes sense here, knowing what we know and considering our needs. So we'll go with that. Central, also strong at quarterback, but again, some of that is they've got the number 1 overall projection there. They're also strong at halfback and cornerback. And given that Melvin Gordon is getting old, it might not be a bad idea. So, our national scout is going to go look at quarterbacks. So he's going to do a ton of, recruiting on that front. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's look at I I'm not I don't want to dedicate a ton of effort towards halfbacks because Williams is going to be really good. So let's look at the cornerbacks in the territory since it says that's one of the strengths of the territory. So we'll go corner, and then in the Northeast, wide receiver, corner, and defensive end. Let's go with the defensive ends. Yeah, because we're scouting corners there. Defensive end, we're going right end, I guess, to be specific. And then in the Southeast, quarterbacks, another one that are really good. Left tackle is a strength. Let's look at the tackles. I need a right tackle, but if I get any tackle, I can shuffle things around and move somebody over. So, all right, so we got that done. Now we just basically need to take a look at our weekly strategy before we jump into our second game of the year against the Jaguars. So thankfully, we get started with a pretty soft strength of schedule. The Giants, then the Jags. Now both of those are on the road, but still not the strongest teams. And then we get the Jets in week 3, who are also not super strong. So we've got a chance to get off to a really good start here. This week 2 game against the Jaguars is going to be key. Our strategy is going to stay run focused here, I guess. You know what, though? We were really good against the run last time, and these guys throw the ball more frequently than they run it. So let's do the same thing we did last week. We're going to say defend the deep pass, keep stuff in front of us, and then, we'll just try and call a lot of defensive plays that give us a chance to stop the run anyway. Man, their defense was ridiculous last week. Look at those rankings after 1 week. I don't know who they played, but jeez. All right, we're going to stick with the run inside concept, and then for the team profile, probably the same goals that we had last week. 1 interception, get a bunch of first downs, run for 150 yards, and let's get some sacks today. So, I think that's going to be very common to see that combination of goals for each week, because those are things that I feel like we can accomplish typically given what our usual strategy is going to be from an offensive perspective, like running the football. If we get the lead, we get the team to throw the ball, and that's when we get some sacks, get some picks, etc. All right, we got a player upgrade coming. Who's it going to be? Alexander Johnson gets one, even though he's hurt. But that's still good to know. Now, he's not coming back, and I don't know what his situation is from a contract perspective. But at 29, we're not going to have him a ton longer anyway. All right, Cushionberry, he's okay against the pass, and at center, I'm not super worried about it. So let's emphasize power here, at least for a little bit. I don't want these guys to be completely one-dimensional. Like here, he's okay against the pass, so we emphasize power blocking again. Moody got an upgrade. We got some nice... Oh, it was the offensive line that got all those points. So I'm going to actually go pass protector. You know what? We'll do power again. We're going to have to run the ball this year to be successful, period. So we'll emphasize those positions, or, those attributes. Yep. Oh, man, I hit agile instead of... Whatever, it's fine. Left tackle, that's okay. Brett Jones gets one. We're going power. You know what? To speed things up, here's what we're going to do. Let's go back. I'll show you who all is going to get them, and then I'll do this off screen. So Mintz, Schlotman, Calvin Anderson, and Miners got one. Actually, Miners gets 2. That's awesome. And now here we go out to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, a team that comes in with pretty low expectations for the season. The young quarterback Trevor Lawrence definitely unproven at the NFL level, and the Broncos looking to get out of the gates with a couple of wins to start the season. We'll see if we can get it done here on the road against a team that we are probably favored to beat. Although, if Lawrence can get it going and keep them from having turnovers, then maybe they give themselves a chance. McManus going to send one out the back of the end zone to start things off. So Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence going to come out and start from the 25-yard line. You'll see his numbers from last week: 20 of 35, 240 yards, just one touchdown, but no interceptions. And he can run too. So give him a chance to, get things going and take care of the football, and we'll see how they can do. Now, they give it to James Robinson to start the game, who was pretty solid for them last week. That's going to be a key aspect for them this week, is to run the ball, kind of take some pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. He's going to try and take off and run with it here on third down, but he is brought down by Shelby Harris for the sack. That's going to bring up fourth down and 11, and it is a 3-and-out. Jaguars going to punt. It's Deontay Spencer back to return. He takes this one from about the 26 and has it out to the 39 before he is brought down. And here come the Broncos for their first possession of the ball game. It's Teddy Bridgewater, who was pretty sharp last week. He did have one interception, but that completion percentage was very good. That's the kind of stuff that they want to see from him. Just get the ball into the hands of your playmakers and see if we can pick up big yards after the catch. They start things on the ground. There's the numbers for Gordon last week: 66 yards, splitting a lot of the workload with the rookie Williams. And we'll see how things go here. Now 3rd and 5. He's going to try and hit Tim Patrick with good coverage there. He can't hang on. And the Broncos go 3-and-out. So here comes the punt from Martin. It is going to take a friendly bounce for the Broncos, and they down it at the 5-yard line. So a very good job there by the Denver special teams. There's Trevor Lawrence going to take off and run with it on first down. He gets 7 yards, brings up 2nd down and 3. Now looking to throw, has it to his man. That's good for a first down out to the 22-yard line. Pickup of 10 on the play. Now it's 3rd down and 4. He's going to throw to the outside, hits his man in the hands, but he drops it. And that is big, because now they'll have to punt from their own 28. Spencer going to take this run from the 25. He sheds one tackler and has it out to about the 32-yard line. And the Broncos take over 1st and 10, about 6.5 left to play in the quarter. Teddy Bridgewater going to throw one out to Noah Fant here on 2nd down and 6. Good effort from Fant. He gets this one into Jacksonville territory down to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10, Denver. Now Bridgewater looking to throw again. He's going to swing it across the middle to Tim Patrick. Breaks a tackle, and he's got that inside the 35, and it's another first down for Denver. Now 3rd and 4. He's going to hit Cortland Sutton here wide open over the middle, and that gets him down to the 20-yard line, so it's 1st and 10. And before the next snap, however, it's going to be a false start against Denver, so back him up 5 yards, makes it 1st and 15. Now later in the possession, 3rd and 5, he's looking to throw, doesn't have what he wants, tries to step up through the pocket, but he is sacked by Bryan, and that's going to make it 4th down and 8 from the 19-yard line. McManus on for the try. He hits the 36-yard field goal, and Denver gets on the board first. It is 3-0 here late in the first quarter. Ensuing drive, Lawrence fakes the handoff. He's going to take off with it, picks up about 8 yards. Got to learn to slide there, young fella. But 3rd down and 2, they give it to James Robinson. He is going to be stopped short of the first down. He's got 4 carries, just 2 yards at that point in the game. That would bring up 4th down and 1. It's another 3-and-out from Jacksonville. Spencer takes this one from the 20. Good coverage there as they're going to bring him down right around the 23-yard line, so not much there. Now 2nd down and 3 they give to Gordon. He's got a first down out to the 36-yard line. Now 2nd and 6, a couple of plays later, Bridgewater to throw. He hits it to Sutton. The coverage was pretty tight, but he gets one in there. That's good for a first down. Now later in the possession, 3rd and 8. He's going to fire one deep. Patrick going to go up for it. Actually, that was Sutton, the intended receiver, but he had to kind of play some defense there. And Denver will punt again. Here's Martin going to try and pin him deep again, and he's going to get it done as that one is down at the 8-yard line. So a lot of football field in front of Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars here on 3rd and 4. Swings it outside, but Robinson unable to cut it up the field and get the first down. They come up just short, and it's another 3-and-out. So Spencer back to return here. Good one as he gets this one out to the 48-yard line. An excellent field position coming up for Denver. 1st and 10 on the ensuing drive. He's going to throw it outside. There's Cortland Sutton. Has that inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Now about 6.5 minutes to play. Fakes the handoff and flings it out to Noah Fant, who's going to get this one down inside the red zone. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20. And there's Bridgewater handing off to Melvin Gordon. Takes this one all the way down to the 5-yard line. Sets up 1st and goal. And Denver looking to make it a 2-score game here. They give it to Gordon going up the middle, fighting all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. His first rushing touchdown on the year, and that is going to make it 9-0, and the point after will make it 10-0. Denver here now just 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the first half, and this Jacksonville offense is yet to get anything going. They've got some trickeration here. Now he's going to try and throw it deep, but Simmons was all over that one. He picks it off, brings it all the way back inside the 10-yard line, and Denver a chance to really jump out to a big lead here with a 10-point lead already. Simmons has them starting 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, and here comes, the Broncos offense. 2nd and goal. They go right up the middle with Williams. He gets it down to the 1. Looked like he might have got in there. Now 3rd and goal. They're going back up the middle again, and there it is. Devontae Williams, another touchdown as he continues to rack them up on the season, and that's going to make it 17-0 after the point after. And Denver is all over Jacksonville in this one. And this offense for the Jaguars is going to have to try to figure out a way to move the ball effectively. They fake the handoff there. There goes Trevor Lawrence. He's on the ground all the way out around midfield to the 48-yard line. A pickup of more than 20 on the play. And that is going to set him up with an opportunity to maybe get some points before the half. He's going to try and run again here. Goes way outside, and then he's going to try and throw it all the way back across the field. A huge mistake by the rookie. Now, he did have two of his receivers over there and just one Denver defender, but the Denver defender wins the jump ball, and that now sets up Denver with another opportunity to score themselves before the half. They're going to give it to Melvin Gordon here. He has a nice pickup there, tackled at about the 44-yard line, but there is a flag. It's a block in the back, and that's going to put him behind the chains, as that was a 1st down run, and instead of it being 1st and 10 at the 43, it's 1st and 20 at their own 36. So Bridgewater looking to throw deep. He fires it up. Tim Patrick goes up and high points it to take it away from a couple of defenders in the area, and they're all the way down to the 21-yard line. So now they're definitely in field goal range and have plenty of time with 2 timeouts and 1:41 left to play. After another block in the back penalty, he's going to fire one down the middle, and Jerry Jeudy's got that one all the way down to the 7-yard line, and it's 1st and goal again. Here comes Bridgewater looking to throw, nothing there. He's going to take off with it, goes up the middle, and takes it in for the touchdown, and that is going to make it 24-0 here with just 41 seconds left in the half. So Denver just pouring it on Jacksonville, bumming in front of their home faithful. They are just getting torched here in the first half, as it is going to be 24-0 at the half. And the numbers for Jacksonville, pretty paltry through 2 quarters of play. 2 turnovers. They've only got 68 yards of total offense, 22 through the air, and a couple of sacks that have kind of detracted from that number as well. We go around the league looking at some scores, and it's the Raiders all over Pittsburgh in the Steel City as they are up 23-7 as they approach halftime. Derek Carr with a couple of touchdowns. Deshaun Jackson, 4 catches, 41 yards, and a score for the veteran speedster. Now out to Cleveland, not that far from Pittsburgh, and it's 28-14 as the Browns are on top of the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson in the game. Has himself a couple of interceptions, unfortunately. And now we go to the Meadowlands, where it's New Jersey. It's the Jets taking on the Patriots, and the Patriots on top in that one. A low-scoring affair, as it is just 7-3 with 47 seconds left to go in the half. Now, Denver already on top 24-0, and they get the ball to start the second half. Here comes Deontay Spencer from about the 1-yard line, has it out to the 28, and it's 1st and 10 Denver. They go on the ground as Melvin Gordon. There is a flag on the play, however. It's another block in the back, and that's going to set them behind the chains here to start their first possession of the second half. It's going to be 1st and 17, now 3rd and 9 later in the drive. He's going to fire one deep. This is a jump ball here, but Tim Patrick was pretty well covered there. Great defense. He ends up kind of having to play defense himself. and the Broncos go 3 and out. So that's the start that Jacksonville needed here in the second half. And now a nice return here, makes a couple men miss, and he's got it out to the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 for Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars offense. He's going to run with it, takes off to the outside, gets it up the sideline. Looks like he's got a first down out to the 42-yard line, pick up for 10, and that'll move the chains. And now 3rd down and 4 on the next set of downs. He's going to fling one out. That's going to be complete to his man Robinson. Just 10 for 13, 38 yards at that point in the game. Now 3rd and 7 after they move the chains on that one. He's going to fire one deep down the seam there, and that's going to be good. A post pattern run to perfection there, and it's down to the 19-yard line. Down to the 23-yard line, rather. A pickup of 19 on the play. Next set of downs, though, 3rd and 14. Lawrence obviously trying to look down the field there. He is going to be sacked by Bradley Chubb, back him up to the 30-yard line. The kick is good, so a 47-yarder makes it 24-3, and at least Jacksonville has something to say, to show for their offensive efforts on the day. Now 3rd and 3 on the ensuing drive. Gordon going to try and get outside, just escapes on the edge, and he's going to get out to the 42-yard line. Looked like they might have been able to trip him up there, but instead it's a first down. And now 2nd and 5, Bridgewater looking to throw. He's going to just scramble and run with it, has it out to about the 45-yard line, slides down with another first down. Now 3rd and 3, they give it to Gordon right up the middle. Huge hole, and he takes it all the way down to the 25-yard line. He's got 83 yards on 14 carries, so a nice day for him so far. Now 2nd and 6, it's Devontae Williams up the middle, and that is going to get another first down and make it 1st and 10 from the 13, and that would bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. So Denver is driving here. It's 24-3. They're already up 3 touchdowns, and now Teddy Bridgewater going to scramble and run this one all the way down to the 2. Sets up 1st and goal here early in the 4th quarter with an opportunity to make it a 4-touchdown lead, and they are going to do it right here. Melvin Gordon up the middle, takes it in. That would make it 31-3 after the extra point, and Denver just runs away with this one. Absolutely all over Jacksonville. They just never got the offense going really in this one, and Denver having a blast in Jacksonville as they end up winning it 34-3, the final. They would add a field goal later in the 4th quarter and just absolutely put a shellacking on this Jacksonville team. Trevor Lawrence never able to really get it going offensively with this team. They did not run the ball well at all, and we kind of talked about James Robinson had a good week last week. He never got it going here, and they just became too one-dimensional, and with a rookie quarterback, that is a bad recipe. So they end up with just 171 yards of total offense, turned the ball over 3 times. The Broncos ran it for nearly 200 yards on the day. They didn't have to throw it that much because they were out in front from the get-go, and they take this one by 31 on the road. Just absolute domination for them all day long. Teddy Bridgewater was pretty sharp. I mean, he didn't need to be fantastic. 11 of 18, 172 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Lawrence ended up with just 106 yards passing and 3 picks on 16 out of 25 as far as his completions per attempt. And then we take a look at the running numbers here as Melvin Gordon goes over 100 yards, also a couple of touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 14 carries, 56 yards and a score. James Robinson, you see there, 9 carries, just 14 yards. Trevor Lawrence ran for 67, but it didn't really matter that much. You see Teddy Bridgewater had 32 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown, so a good day for him. Not much to say about the passing attack on the day. Cortland Sutton, 4 catches, 47 yards. Tim Patrick, 3 catches for 67. Noah Fant had 32 yards on a couple of catches, but really nothing there for Jacksonville that's noteworthy. Defensively, we'll take a look here. Miles Jack led all tacklers with 10. The leading tackler for Denver was Bradley Chubb with just 6, and that tells you how much their offense, the Denver offense was on the field. When your leading tackler only has 6 tackles, that means that the other team just didn't have the ball very often, and that is pretty awesome. Take a look at the sacks. Micah Kaiser and Shelby Harris had one, also Bradley Chubb, and then Taven Bryan had one for Jacksonville, the lone sack for them. The interceptions for Denver were for Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, and Malik Reed, the linebacker, picking one up later in the game as well. So 3 picks And they win the turnover battle. There's Brandon McManus, a couple of field goals. He had a 50-yarder and 4 extra points on the day. Nick Folk hit that 47-yarder, and that amounted for the only points for Jacksonville on the day. Logan Cook, a busy day, 4 punts for 185 yards, netting 39.2. Sam Martin, 3 punts, netted an average of 42 yards, including those 2 that you saw downed inside the 10-yard line. And that's going to do it for this one. The Broncos take it 34-3 from Jacksonville. All right, so now we're back to the main screen here. We've picked up a couple wins in a row, and as you remember from our first episode, we talked about the policy of if we win 2 games in a row, we sim until we lose, and we've reached that point where we're going to have our first simulation of the franchise series. Now we do have 18 staff points, so we'll go ahead and start working our way down this section over here. So there's 10 points spent, and now we don't have anything else that we can really afford. So back out to the main menu, and I think we're ready to go ahead and now advance through the remainder of the week. But 2 straight games where our offense was efficient, we ran the ball very well, and our defense did a fantastic job. I mean, Jacksonville just got absolutely nothing going against us. That was a straight-up beatdown from start to finish, essentially. Now, before we do the week 3 stuff here, you can see mock draft number 1 is complete. Now we're 2-0, which means they'll probably have us picking relatively late in the draft. But let's just see who they have us taken out of curiosity. Okay, left outside linebacker Bernie Pope out of LSU. We'll look at this guy just to see if he's somebody that we'd really be interested in from what we know. I don't know any of the key ratings, so that doesn't help. His physicals are pretty impressive. Elite acceleration, elite strength. He's got great speed and great everything else, essentially. So he could end up being a physical, asset for us, but I don't know. We'll have to know more about his core, attributes here. So far, all I see is C on power moves and D for stamina. Not that those are like deal breakers, but they're not very impressive. So anyway, that's just something that we wanted to take a look at real quick because it's, one new thing to look at in the scouting tab. Now, one thing I want to also get in the habit of looking at is if we go to news and go over here to top stories and then go draft, eventually or occasionally there will be some stuff on here that we're going to kind of want to stay in tune with. Nothing so far, but that's something to keep looking at every once in a while because you'll see something in there like some running back at LSU set the school record for whatever. That usually is an indication of something that makes that player worth looking at. So we've got heavy rain in the forecast, so our first home game is going to be in pretty dreadful conditions, which is fine with me because that means we're going to want to emphasize the run, which we have done very well so far anyway. So, what's our plan on offense? Since it's going to be so sloppy, we're going to run the ball. That's pretty straightforward. So now the goal here, beat the Jets and rack up 150 yards on the ground. Now, I won't have any control over it, but we will institute some things in our, game plan and strategy between weeks here that hopefully help us with that. We've got a couple players ready for negotiation of contract extensions, so let's see who we're dealing with here. Okay, Bryce Callahan, a veteran corner, 29 years old, and he's an 86. So the reality is he should be pretty decent next year. However, he's got a fractured kneecap. He's not going to play at all this season. And if you think about it realistically, it is highly unlikely that we'd be given a would-be 30-year-old, hypothetically injury-prone 5'9" corner a $12 million contract to come back and play for us for 1 year. So, I just wouldn't do that. So what I will do is I will make him an offer to come back for 1 year, but it's going to be significantly reduced to where, like, I'll give you 10 million. That's as much as you're getting out of me because I don't think you're worth more than that. I don't even think you're worth that. But for 1 year, actually, I don't even want that much of a signing bonus because if you get hurt again, I want to cut you. But anyway, we'll go set. He's not going to accept this. We're making the offer just because I feel like we probably should at least make an offer. So anyway, yeah, he's not going to accept it. Worst case scenario, we'd let him go and then maybe pick him up after he hits free agency. Melvin Gordon, as good as you are, you're 28 going on 29, and your key, like your archetype is, an elusive running back. That's going to go away real fast the older you get. So we're going to just flat out let him walk. He's got the normal dev trait anyway, so he is almost surely going to just nosedive from an ability perspective to where I'll bet you going into next season, he's like a 76 instead of an 86. So he can just go ahead and test free agency. He might be a guy again that we bring back on a 1-year deal after he realizes through the free agent market that he's just not very highly sought after, and we can get him for a discount. So that's that. We don't need to do anything in terms of scouting. In terms of weekly strategy, we'll come in here. Let's see. These guys throw the ball a lot. They don't do anything very good offensively. Tevin Coleman is their best running back. So we're actually going to just make sure that they don't beat us with any deep balls. So we'll stop the pass. And then offensively, it's going to be not blitz counter. Ooh, these guys are actually pretty good against the run, which is kind of disappointing. Because that's what we're going to need to do here. With Quinnen Williams up the middle, running it up the middle might be a little bit tough. So let's see if we can't run outside instead of inside. That'll be the strategy there. Nope, I don't want that. Stop. Go up. There we go. Excuse me. Same strategies as usual here. I don't think we need to change anything. We're going to try and, instead of get the 3 sacks, we're going to go for less than 4 yards a carry against us. Because I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball very well against us anyway. So, all right. Let's get back out to the main menu, and I think we're ready to go ahead and sim through this ball game, aren't we? No, we've got some player upgrades. Who got signed off our practice squad? Marvell Tell the Third. All right. I find it kind of interesting how often guys get picked up off of the practice squads. Like, if you draft somebody and then put them on the practice squad, it's almost a virtual guarantee that somebody's going to pick them up. All right, Malik Reed, I need you to get a little bit better at pass coverage, simply because in a 3-4, there's going to be a lot of scenarios where they're dropping back into zone coverage, so I need you to be okay, at least, at doing that, to give us a chance of still getting some sacks, or some, pass breakups or whatever, because we get good coverage downfield. All right, I think that is it. Advanced week, and let's cross our fingers and hope to see if we can get to 3-0. It'd be nice, because we got the Ravens coming up, and I don't know if I can beat them. Come on, baby. All right, another win and another big performance as far as putting up a ton of points. 42-23. We'll see how it happened here. Let's go in and see if we accomplished our strategy. So it must be a relief to be standing here as the winner. Absolutely, we did our best to formulate a plan. It all goes out the window when you step on. So it looks like we won but didn't get the... Yeah. So we get 1,000 XP. I don't think we ran for 150 yards, which maybe means that Teddy Bridgewater just went off in rainy conditions, which is just crazy. All right, so now we got to go in and tell the press that it's not Teddy Bridgewater's fault that we're winning. We're a team mentality here. So he's doing a good job, but we're playing well as a team. So I can't give it all to him. So now we got to go out and beat the Ravens for some sort of staff bonus or XP bonus. I'm not sure. You don't want to put pressure on your quarterback. All right. Against Lamar Jackson, the strategy is limit him through the air. If he wants to try and run it, we will let him, and we'll do our best to slow it down when he does. But we gotta think stop the pass first. And that helps right there. We get the coverage boosts for the game so that it's a little bit easier for us to try and focus on, being sort of well-rounded versus, Anyway. All right, so we've got some more players ready to negotiate. Since we won, we're going to sim another week. So we'll see how that goes, but you can just about chalk up a loss here. I am not going to change this at all. I am just going to make the exact same offer until he says no. I don't think it's realistic to keep, just stop negotiating after the first round. We at least come back and say, like, look, dude, this is final offer. Take it or leave it. So next week, if we will go ahead and move on from that. Kareem Jackson at 33 years old. He's probably going to start to regress. So I don't know if he's going to be worth $8.5 million, especially not 2 years from now. Let's see if we can get him for a 1-year deal. It's not going to be super likely, and we don't have a ton of cap room, frankly, to where I can be forking out huge money that's locked up in guys. I think we need to be a little bit more, build for the future type approach. So I'm going to offer him a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. He's going to say no, but that's okay. We will just basically say if you don't like it, you can go ahead and test free agency. Now, Alexander Johnson. I really wish he didn't want a 4-year deal. He's got the star dev trait, which should help him from nosediving from an ability perspective over the next few years. And he's definitely my best middle linebacker, but I can't afford to give this guy a 4-year deal. He's not going to be worth that much in a few years. And his speed is not outrageous. 81 is kind of just nah. So, and he's another guy that's hurt for all of this year. I will give you a 3-year offer, but we're cutting back on the signing bonus as usual. Again, a lot of these, I just kind of expect these guys to say, look, if that's all you think I'm worth, forget you. I'll just go test free agency. But we'll make him a 3-year deal worth about $9.5 million a year and see if he takes it. But I bet you he will not. Yep, he doesn't like anything about it. That's okay. You don't have to sign. We'll figure some things out to keep us competitive for a few years until we have a chance to build this team from the ground up through the draft, essentially, and keeping some of our young core intact. So weekly strategy against the Ravens is going to be, let's see, they have not been very good throwing the football at all. So, but they have tried to pass it more than run. So, again, our strategy was to stop the pass. When we did the press conference, we're going to emphasize that. I want them to have to run the football to beat us. If we can force them to do that, I think we win. And then they are not very good against the pass, and they do blitz a fair amount. So why don't we try this blitz counter package and see if it gets the job done. Now, before we actually play this game, I need to go back and look at the stat line from last week. Forgot to do that. So we'll go do that here in a second. Let's take care of the football. How about that? And then let's get some sacks. I don't think we're going to throw for 275 yards, and I don't think we're going to run for 150 against Baltimore. So let's see if we can't just take care of the football and get some staff points that way. All right, we've got that. We've got both staff and player upgrades to look at. Then we'll look at the box score from last week. Then we'll sim. So I'll just show you who the upgrades are for, and then we'll jump forward here. So Brett Rippon, Draymond Jones, Ojemudia, Cushenberry, the rookie right guard, Miners, third string tight end, Aaron Patrick, Schlottman gets another one, Natrez Patrick, and Patrick Surtain. So lots of Patricks getting better. All right, so all that's done. Now we need to go into the talent tree, spend these staff points, and we're already close to where we can start purchasing those upgrades to get additional focus players. So we got to pick which side of this tree we want to go down. I don't really think it... Actually, no. I think I have to have all of these now that I think about... Yep. We have to get all 6 of these before we can get that. So we need 40 more here before we can then rack up 20 to get the first focus player unlocked there. So that kind of stinks, but that's okay. We're still making good progress there just 3 weeks into the season. And we're 3-0. Now the Chiefs are 0-3, which is just bonkers that everybody in the division is 3-0 and they are 0-3. Like, Vegas is losing their minds right now. All right, so let's go back in, take a look at the box score from the game against the Jets and see what went down here. So let's go ahead and just go straight to player stats. I don't care too much about the actual box score. So Teddy Bridgewater, 227 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he was sacked twice. Zach Wilson actually wasn't that bad. He threw for 286 with 3 TDs and 1 interception and was only sacked once. So they threw the ball pretty well. Javonte Williams had another pretty solid day, as did Melvin Gordon. Williams picking up 2 more touchdowns and got more of the workload than Gordon did, which is a little bit interesting. They just didn't even try to run the football. Their leading carrier was Wilson with 15 yards on 5 carries. Then Jamison Crowder outran Tevin Coleman, who had 8 carries for 11 yards. So our defense is just absolutely shutting down running games right now. Now, Jamison Crowder had a nice day. Jerry Jeudy, a couple TDs. Cortland Sutton, a solid day. Noah Fant was all right, and they also picked up a couple of touchdowns. So pretty good numbers there, and I like that we're spreading it out. Leading tackler was Kareem Jackson, which is interesting when the safety leads the team in tackles. Not necessarily a terrible thing. And Williams had 2 sacks for them, and Jackson had a sack for us. The INTs were Quincy Williams and Surtain. I think that's his first. So that's a big moment for the rookie. Good job, buddy. So there you go. Again, 3 straight wins, putting up a ton of points in the process, and the run defense has been, I would imagine we are the best in the league yardage-wise against the run at this point in the season, which is just absolutely awesome. So let's look. Did I look here at, oh my gosh. How do I move over to, oh, I'm already over. I was like, what is going on here? So still nothing here in the draft stories. And then I always hit circle there instead of going back to the other tab. So we're ready to sim through week 4. Can we get to 4-0? We're playing at home, which helps. But, you know, Baltimore is one of those teams that if you get the Baltimore where they are really good, you're just going to lose. And that's exactly what happened here. We got smoked, 41-20. Before we get into anything else, let's go ahead and look at the box score. And that we'll get through this week, ready for our next game, and then I think we'll wrap up the episode. Because next week we'll be able to play 2 games and cover both of those highlight reel type presentations. So this one's probably getting long enough to where I don't want to push it too much farther. Player stats. Lamar Jackson, see, we did the job slowing him down through the air, but it ended up not mattering. We did turn over the football. Although Teddy Bridgewater was still pretty good, he was sacked 3 times, and sacks can be drive killers. We got to be better than that. Wait. No. Don't do that. So rushing, we didn't even really let him run hog wild against us, but Latavius Murray had a pretty decent day. Gordon was all right. We didn't really commit to the run in this one. I mean, Javonte Williams gets 2 carries for 5 yards. He had 18 the week before, and all of a sudden we just decide that we're not going to run the football. Like, what is that about, guys? Jerry Jeudy, a huge day. 5 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown, including a long of 79 yards, which I imagine was the touchdown. Noah Fant, pretty good day. I'll tell you what, Tim Patrick has not done much so far this season. And some of that's just, I don't use wideouts as much as I should. It's just not my style. I like check downs and just get rid of the ball quickly or whatever. So it's hard to have guys get downfield and get open. All right. Kaiser, a decent day with 10 tackles, including 2 for a loss. Led the team probably in both of those categories. We ended up with 0 sacks on the day. They had 3, we had 0, and then who had the interception for them? Jimmy Smith, the veteran corner. So we're 3-1, still off to a solid start. And we get the Steelers, I believe, next week, right? Yes. I have a recipe that I think can allow us to beat the Steelers because Ben Roethlisberger's not the same as he used to be. We're on the road, but if we run the ball well against this team, which I think we can, I mean, in real life, everybody's doing it against the Steelers, so we ought to be able to, and I think we'll be able to take them down. But we will save all of this other stuff until next week. We'll cover that. We'll get the Steelers game in, probably also get the Raiders game in, and so that's what you can look forward to in the next one. So if you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friend and neighbor. Or shall I say this afternoon?